The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host. Once more, do we go into the breach, dear friends?
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
Well, we're up a point on the S&P cash at 2473 and a half. And what do we have on the NASDAQ here? Off 28, 63.46 on that. And of course, well, the Dow, where's that little bugger? It's up 95 at 21,925. My guess is that we're going to slowly drift up into the 2,500 area on the S&P cash through this week. So that's not that much, 28 points. I'm not looking for a huge move over the next 3 or 4 days. Fun buying. We might get a little bit more, but my guess is that we're going to have a handful of stocks of which people have gotten incredibly bearish, move rather strongly higher. So we'll keep an eye on that. Over the weekend, I probably saw 10 different articles, all pronouncing the end of the world, which always makes me take the other side of any trade. So I'm actually thinking that there may be some decent moves up in some of these highly shorted stocks again. After next week, that may change, but I think everybody probably a little bit got the cart before the horse a little bit. We may get up a little higher than a lot of people think. We may even continue higher. We could see this thing go into the first week of September on no volume. Volume 1.8 billion shares so far today. And, of course, pretty quiet, but Mondays have been. Friday was a little bit better. But my guess is we've got people piling on short. They're probably just a little early to the party. We got a few stocks rolling over. We'll talk about those today. His bull thought process is 2,500 too cute. I don't have any positions in the S&P. All my positions are based on the fact that I don't think there's a whole lot of upside in it, or at least that's my assumption or working thesis. I am looking for stocks that are massively hated, and I may be a little early on some of them. Was actually right on one of them on Friday, so it's doing very well today. But it continues to be kind of tough. Watch some huge washouts. And normally I set a stop, and that stop's based on having nominal or regularized volume for a move. If I come in there and see about a fourth of the volume I'm supposed to see, then I'm more than willing to give a few more days for a stop, and been rewarded for doing that today. Also, got a few out here. A lot of people throwing a little extra wood on the fire on these hated stocks. That's normally a fairly good time to think about buying calls on them. Again, hated stocks are hated for a reason, but a lot of times they can just be way too short. And I suspect that before this market rings the bell, that the shorts are going to they're gonna be squealing a bit. Just you don't want to be short a lot of these stocks that are 40, 50, 60% short right now into light volume, which I think August is going to have. So we'll see. But I think we've seen a couple of them turn here, at least some of the ones I have. I'm looking at yet another one. But my guess is that these the smaller stocks, the stocks under $5, and a lot of these highly short stocks are the ones we're going to see the big move in over the next week, 10 days or something. Could we roll over then? Yeah, I just don't see it. Like today, we got pushed down there was a lot of shorting from about 10 o'clock, maybe even 9:50 Eastern time on, and that pretty much ran out of steam. So I'm looking for some kind of spike intraday. I mean, something like up 20, 30 points on the S&P cash and giving it all up that same time to ring the bell. And we haven't really had that. These have been kind of minor. Also think that, as long as we continue to see moves in the commodities that are very measured, as we've seen in gold and crude, I think that also connotes that there isn't any kind of huge move to the downside just yet. Nervous market, everybody yelling and screaming that the end is nigh. It's been, I can probably count on one finger, and I don't know where that finger's been, the time that everybody got bearish and the market failed. It's when I see 20, I probably saw 10, 15 articles about everybody decrying the end of the world. Yeah, I just have to take the other side of that. And it tends to be self-serving for these big guys on Wall Street. So I don't spend thinking that. Some people are just clairvoyant. You just never know. In the meantime, we always like to start off with a little bit of history repeating.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1975, James Riddle Hoffa, one of the most influential American labor leaders of the 20th century, disappears in Detroit, Michigan, never to be heard from again. Though he is popularly believed to have been the victim of a mafia hit, conclusive evidence was never found, and Hoffa's death remains shrouded in mystery to this day. At the age of 20, he helped organize a labor strike in Detroit, remained an advocate for the downtrodden workers for the rest of his life. Hoffa's charisma and talents as a local organizer quickly got him noticed by the Teamsters and carried him through his ranks. And I'll always remember there was a movie out there that I'm pretty sure was done by the same guy as Goodfellas. I'm pretty sure it was the same director. It was a pretty interesting movie about it, but there was an actor that played one of the potential hitmen that was sitting in the diner. And I'll think of his name probably halfway through the show. But all I can remember is I was on two different plane rides, on two different airliners that guy was on. I'll think of his name. He's a brown-haired kid, about 5'8". You'll recognize him. He kind of does a lot of bit parts now, but he was kind of an up-and-coming actor at the time. Maybe I'll find it out. Remember the guy's name. But anyway, all he would do for the entire, I think we were flying from the east or west coast to the other coast. So it was 3 hours of him literally walking from first class all the way to the back of the plane, all the way back into the first class, back to the second class. I'll have to find his name. But he was the guy sitting in the booth waiting for Hoffa to take him out in the car. I'll think of his name. We'll be back in a minute.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
I had to take a sip. Frank Whaley, somebody you'll recognize him if you look up his name, but he was the kid in the movie sitting in the diner just before he left. But I remember because I just seen the movie like a couple of months earlier, and then he was walking back and forth. I ran into a lot of famous people, got bumped up to first class a lot because I was flying a lot, especially on the way back to Cincinnati when I lived there. But he was, almost everybody's pretty cool. He was just weird walking up and down the seats. The worst people were the Pointer Sisters, who they diverted the plane and kicked them off. They were a piece of work. They were jumping up and down in the aisles, acting like they were maybe mentally insane or something. Not much else happened. I had a fairly uneventful flying career. But that was it. Other things going on. Last week, Bitcoin's largest and most notorious coin exchange was brought down by law enforcement, and police and prosecutors are now beginning to explain why. On Thursday, the Department of Justice unsealed an indictment against Alexander Vinnick, who thought to be the operator, one of the operators of the Bitcoin exchange BTC, charged him with 21 counts of money laundering and other financial crimes. Counts range from operating an unlicensed money transmittal business to a variety of money laundering charges, including laundering associated with ransomware payouts and a theft from the now defunct Mt. Gox exchange. So why Bitcoin can't be gamed? Apparently all the exchanges can be, and all these things were a bunch of straw men that were all set up for a variety of reasons, but most notably for nefarious reasons. Tomorrow, there's a lot of discussion about whether Bitcoin will be split like it matters. This is a little different than having an earnings per share and everything else, but you might see some movement in Bitcoin, but we continue to see at least the law enforcement arm of justice really go after the point where they turn cash or Bitcoins into cash. And instead of going after Bitcoin itself, they may just take that route where there is no exchange to get your cash out of it. And maybe that's the plan from government to kill it. But we will find out. Of course, today, Pandora and Texas Roadhouse. Tomorrow, we've got Under Armour, Spring, BP, Lumber Liquidators, Archer Daniels Midland, Royal Caribbean, and Scott's Miracle Grow. And boy, are they growing on marijuana fertilizer sales. It is a mad market. We're going to look at some stocks out here. Over the weekend, of course, supposedly the new Tesla is in production. This thing took a hit today, but I have a feeling it took a hit for another reason that has little to do with the car. Much bigger reason, and that is Google has said that they have a molten salt system for storing energy that's like 3 times more efficient and probably half the cost of the solar battery wall that Tesla was working in. That may kill the whole idea that somehow they're going to be able to justify that $5 billion plant in the lithium-ion batteries that's being put together out there in Las Vegas or just north of it. Toyota, of course, last week came out with their solid-state battery. We found out a little bit more about it over the weekend. It's one with a solid electrolyte that can't short out, which is interesting. It's also supposed to be a little bit better for a lifespan. It may get into the 7-year lifespan before it falls 50% in capacity, unlike lithium-ion batteries, which are about 5 years to 50% capacity at this point. So that's if they're perfectly moved. There's some other people talking about recharging lithium-ion batteries at 3 or 4 times the rate and getting a little bit better performance out of them long term. But at the same time, when you do that, the chances of it's like stalactites and stalagmites in a cave. When you basically recharge them at high rates, they can cause little fissures to eventually meet in the center of the between the anode and cathode and short out. And that's what causes NiCad batteries to flame up. But no word on Tesla coming up with any better battery technology. But certainly Google has this molten salt reactor system set up that could hold power for 3 or 4 days, maybe much better, and it's part of the Alphabet system. They started talking about it this weekend. But if it's half the price, and it's basically its active ingredient is salt and water, this may be, something that is far cheaper than those battery packs they put on the wall. This thing would probably be more like one of those propane tanks that sits outside in your backyard somewhere. But the worst thing that happens, all that salt gets loose, you go clean it up. Certainly not all the chemicals. And you know what? There's tons of salt everywhere. Lithium, maybe not so much. So, yeah, supercapacitors coming along, but still not out. That's troublesome. But you could make a case that Tesla's in an ABC down. We talked about that last week. And that would take you to, what is that going to take you? 263.64 on a 1-to-1. And, volume picking up a little bit from Friday, even on light volume day today. So we're up 1.5 points on the S&P cash. I saw that. I thought it was rather interesting. Boeing BA, isn't it? Boeing was a little higher out here today. It's continued its movement. May have found a short-term high out here at 246.49 today. Of course, blew away earnings 2 gaps higher everything that you're looking for. If you wanted to buy it, you got to wait for this thing to come down to about 222. Room 222? I think so. See what else was going on out here. ROPER. Is that it? Yeah, ROP. Wondering if that one is ROP. Now, this thing's not doing much. It was active earlier before the open. Roper Industries came out with earnings. Okay, now I see. Opened at lows, came back up. I was wondering if Roper Industries had anything to do with Three's Company. Is that what, after they left and the other landlord came in from Mayberry RFD, did Mrs. Roper go out and start this company? Come and knock on my door. Oh, that's the story I'm going to say, and I'm sticking to it. We'll be back in a minute. Got lots of stuff to look at today.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now. Trading is different than investing, but the opportunity to take advantage of short-term trends is only one if you get the direction right. Direction leveraged and inverse ETFs offer bold trades on U.S. and international stocks and bonds. Direction leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Well, Tidewater's out of bankruptcy today. Didn't do much. Did spike a little bit. Kind of right back to where it was on Friday's close. So that was probably baked in, but they're still around to be kicked around. What else do we have? Hasbro. Let's see if there's anything else on the news. When you get up 1.5 points, it's hard to get a lot of stuff, get busy on a lot of stuff. Caterpillar had an upgrade, but I don't think it did anything out here. Yeah, just kind of like Boeing. This thing went higher. It hadn't really started to come off, although volume's starting to come out a little bit of Caterpillar, but I don't see a lot in that one. Let's take a look at some of the stuff I've been scanning for. Again, not a lot of stocks that are very interesting, but a handful of them. We'll take a look anyway. Cirrus 1. And now this one, very light test of its previous high, June 9th, $59.35. 1.7 million shares got into that on July 27th with 500,000 shares, so about 1/3 the volume. This company is a real estate investment trust, owns, operates, and develops enterprise-class, carrier-neutral, and multi-tenant data center properties. So that may be interesting to see that. We'll keep an eye on it on the next few days. It's Texas-based. I don't know how much they're based in that. They're also have properties in the United Kingdom and Singapore. So it's a little bit more than you would think. It was founded in 2012. Hasn't been around but for about 5 years. So that one's interesting. See if there's anything else. Oh, so anyway, we'll look at Cirrus 1. Symbol is CONNE. Chile Investable Market Index, especially with these electric cars. My guess is that most of this is based on the commodities out of Chile. I wonder if Chile actually makes chilies, or if that's Chile is actually from Mexico, and they don't have any real chilies in Chile. I don't know about that. April 17th, 2017, $45.48, 800,000 shares. Got into it with a little tiny bit more than half of that on July 27th with 467,000 shares. Kind of came off for a couple of days. No real pickup in the energy or the volume. Energy off this June 30th low up to the high on July 27th was fairly strong compared to the move back down. This volume at the highs, though, is kind of what we're looking at. Herbalife. This thing, we've been looking for it to come down. I was short it once. We made some bucks on it. Certainly looks like light volume out here, and $64 would be support on it. So you got a little bit more to go on that. Intrepid Potash. This one's testing the highs at $3.04. That goes back to December 9th of 2016. 4.5 million shares at 304. We got into that with 316 on July 28th with 2.76 million shares, so about half, a little less than half, or right at half, tiny, hair less than half. The volume into that spike going back on December 9th. Everybody thinks that this business is going to come back and be what it was once it was before, after the Russians trashed the entire potash market, but it continues to be a problem. Rich from Portland, how you doing?
Good, David. Thanks for taking my call.
Most welcome. Give me a full report.
Well, my full report is, what is the chart showing you about Square?
Symbol is SQ, is it?
Correct.
Well, you've got pretty much a drive up here without any significant retrace, going all the way back to the 23rd of February of 2017. You've got two decent gaps in it. My guess is that top in this thing would be on the third gap. Are earnings coming up on this?
Yes, this week.
Yeah. If this thing would gap up, are you long right now?
No, I was looking for a possible entry here, but was a little concerned about what could happen with the earnings.
I ideally, if this thing gapped up, I'd probably say that the thing to do would be to short it. You're probably going to look for the retrace in this thing. Let's say it popped up to $30 and then faded back down. You could see somewhere around the $23 range would be support. So to me, the risk reward is on earnings, this goes to $30 or it goes back to that $23, $22 area where support is. And then if that holds, then that's great. Maybe you make it back up to $30. But to me, you had your big day of juice on the 27th and it rolled over on volume on 14.5 million shares. You've had kind of light volume the last 2 days out here. So I just don't see much in it. The thing pops. Ideally, what you don't want this thing to do is, if you want it to be long, is you don't want a gap. But my guess is this thing gaps, and that last gap is probably a medium-term high in this thing. So you're then looking for the retrace in it and for it to base out, and hopefully at $23 or so. So what were you thinking? I just don't see the risk reward of getting into a stock that's gone pretty much straight up without any significant pullback.
Well, and that's what worried me was this seems to be a momentum play that everyone is jumping into because of the story.
Let's take a look at retracements. Okay. Let's see if we have anything else longer term out here. Okay. I'm going to show you this on the longer term scale. Are you watching on Tiger TV?
Yes, I am.
Okay. You've got a confluence level that comes in at $21, $21.43 to $20.64. If you're talking about this thing having a long-term movement and not just a trade, but to get back in it and move back up, that $21 area is where you would love to buy this thing if you were thinking about holding it more than a few weeks for a trade. That would be the ideal one. That's part of the Fibonacci retrace from October 17, 2016, and the next one was March 22nd. You really haven't had anything since that March 22nd, 2017 level, but you got a couple of days with strong up thrusts. May 22nd, with about 10 million shares, you get 13 million shares on May 23rd. That's where that thing is right in there. It's a good, have you got Tom's book?
No, I don't.
Okay. We'll talk about this when we come back. We need to talk a little bit about confluence areas and how to set them up and what you're looking for. We'll be back in a minute with Rich.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And what we're at here, flat on the day, 2472. And volume just over 2 billion shares, so it is kind of quiet. Rich, are you still there? Hello? I guess he's not still there. Rich? Okay. Engineer, you can type at me anytime if he's there or he's not. What else do we have? Square. Oh, we were talking about setting up confluence levels, and that is the October 17th low. Confluence levels are the 682, actually the 382 and the 618 percentage retracements off of different Fibonacci numbers. When they come very close, you'd even like this one to be a little closer, but this one's right in those huge volume days. You know what? That actually looks pretty good. If you were looking long term, that's it. But what you want to do is take the 682 and 382 and 618 of those two bigger ones and then put them together. And if it's real close, normally I'd like to see about 50 cents. This one's about 80 cents, so a little bit wider than you like, but that it's right in those huge volume up days. Long-term support does come in at that 21, let's call it $20.64 to $21.43. So what else do we have out here? That one is interesting. We'll take a look at Southern Copper. Copper. A huge move in iron today in Australia. Saw that earlier in the day. Yeah, come on. This is higher. Take a look here. The last high in Southern Copper is February 10th, $39.38, 2 million shares. Get into that today with 380,000 shares. That's the best you've got here. 900,000 shares back on the 25th. What do you got? 850,000 shares. 780,000 shares. 500,000 shares. So yeah, you got got light volume, at least half of that February 10th high. Energy coming off the low wasn't all that bad. It wasn't all that great. It was about the same on the way down as the way up. So this could look like a bigger trading range. UNFI. And let's see. Here. Oh, and a special request.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Just a comment in the den. What else do we have? Look at a few. Let's take a look at Apple. That was higher. It's down a little bit. This thing just looks like it's getting into a tighter trading range. June 16th was last low at 142.20, 72 million shares. You really never had, you kind of had a test of it with 24 million shares back on the 6th of July. This has kind of come up. You rotated down a couple of days ago on some decent volume of 32.5 million shares. Did so today a little lower on 13 million shares, but it just looks to me like this thing is hanging out around this 150 level. Again, too much. I'm going to say 150. So I don't know if there's anything else you can say about that one. We'll look into a few of them from last week, see if there's anything else. CRM hit a high. We covered this one. I wanted to see what it was doing today. It tested its previous high of almost 16 million shares on June 7th at 91.99. Did so. This ticked it at 92.13. Did so on 3.6 million shares. But again, no real pullback. A lot of these things are just holding up into earnings. Let's take a quick look at NVIDIA. It did about the same thing, which was go up into a 92 million share high on June 9th, 168.50, went to 169.93 on the 26th, came off, volume picked up slightly at 19 million shares, 13 million shares on Friday today, up on about 10 million shares, but not really backing off. I think a lot of these things are just in limbo waiting for the next shoe to drop. But other than that, not much happening. So let's see what else we have out here. Okay. Let's take a quick look at workday. What we got on this one? Go to a little shorter time frame on this one. This one was another one we've been waiting for it to pull back. It did go above previous high. June 2nd, 104.53, 5.2 million shares. Got through that on the 26th with 900,000 shares. The next day, it rolled over on 1.2 million shares. But again, just hanging out here. A lot of these stocks is waiting for earnings and or news or forward forecasts, but they're not really backing off these highs, and that would make me think that we're probably just a few weeks ahead of any significant high if there's going to be one. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to look at. I wanted to look and see how IBM was doing. This thing had been working its way back down to a fairly long-term low at 143. We're seeing that today. So if you were thinking about buying IBM, I don't know. The energy on the way down is probably a little too much for me. October 18th, though, of 2016, this was 143.49. We certainly got into that on last Thursday and Friday. High volume, though, is about 6 million shares. So you're into that 143 area on half the volume. What you really have to dislike is that you've got more energy on the way down off this 180-123 high. On the plus side, this thing had 3 gaps to the downside, but I don't know what in the world would be the catalyst to turn earnings around on it. At best, I think it is going sideways, but came off of it. You got your 3 gaps, both of them all. This basically sets up as a 3-gap play. and you do have a test of the previous low on half the volume. So you got to figure, that's it. So what else do we have? Yeah, we'll look at a few more here before the end of the day. We got one segment left. Give me a call at 877-927-6648.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
Anyway, we're looking at IBM. Certainly looks like at least a short-term low after that 3-gap down move. Maybe after some consolidation, could this get to 168 again? Let's take a quick look at the retracements. 162.46 would just be a 50% retracement of this huge move down. May make a nice ABC on the longer term if this thing did move higher. Still looking for the fundamental reason this thing could move higher. They basically pinned all their hopes on Watson. That's not going very far. They do have some quantum computers that are actually being sold, but you can't find anything out about it because it's to the government. and it's a giant black hole. So you really don't know how much money that they've got that way. But it is interesting. Let's take a look at some other ones out here. NFLX. Let's take a quick look in the last few minutes out here, how some of these things have done and or are doing. Of course, you had your huge gap up, kind of slowing back down. 173 is probably 170. 170 to 173 is probably where support is on this. From this huge gap up on the 18th. Volume on that day, 41.5 million shares. You got 3.5 million shares. If you got back there, that would probably be a present. I don't see much else in that one. To Amazon, a lot of discussion over the weekend. More and more people talking about the chance of this hitting restraint of trade and monopoly laws. Down fairly strong on this one, back under $1,000. Your pop was up there for a minute, and for 24 hours he was the richest man in the world. It just seems apropos, doesn't it? His spending, which seems to be insatiable, is moving on. His Blue Origin business is kind of interesting. Really saw the divergence in that in the last 2 or 3 months. I don't think that is a separate company, so the earnings aren't back into that. But it kind of interested me more than the rest of the stuff he was doing. But him and Musk and all the other space frontier guys, down on volume. Volume is not all that exciting. Your support is in this 980 area, which what'd you get down to today? Low of 987.70. So what do you got? And you're just back to support. Not good, though. And, of course, a lot of people worrying about whether or not they drag out any antitrust issues in this. Okay. Take a look. Quick question to look at Micron. This has come down off of its highs. Coming back, some decent volume, supports at about 2650, and that would look fairly sweet if you can get into that with light volume. But 2650 is the target on that one. See if there's anything else out here. I think that's one. Take a quick look at it. Intel, we talked about that at length on Friday. Up a little higher, a little doji out here. That's it. It's a quiet day. My guess is that Wednesday is going to be the day where we drive through 2,500 on the S&P cash. Just going to be probably quiet today, maybe even a little quiet tomorrow, and then Wednesday I suspect we start seeing those funds start coming in. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you tomorrow. Same back channel, same back.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.